Aboru Aboye. You know, here in the Bay Area, particularly in places like Oakland, when you go down just about any street, you're going to find these little encampments of homeless people. And over about the last 6 or 7 years, you know, the incidence of homelessness is just growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, it's just a sprawl now. There's homelessness is everywhere, right? And some people are protesting homelessness, right? They're marching against homelessness, and they're having meetings in different city offices and stuff like that, and they're trying to effect some kind of change and to remedy the situation. And I respect that. I appreciate that because they're responding to what they see and they want to make some change. But here's something that I know, and I have to make it plain. Those protests are going to make no difference at all whatsoever. Those things are completely irrelevant, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. In the city of Oakland, just like every other city, they knew that what the homelessness was going to be. They knew the homelessness rate probably 25 years ago. They knew that there was going to be an influx and a shift in the economy 25 years ago. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Okay? In every city, for example, every single city, you go and check this out. You go to the city planning meetings. In your city, they know approximately the date that the landfill is going to be full. They know. By the year 2026, the landfill in this city is going to be full. We're going to have to take all of our garbage someplace else. They know this. Okay? By a certain time, they know when certain demographics are going to age out. And when they age out, what are the statistical probabilities of certain numbers of people of selling their homes? What kinds of industries are going to be in place? Which industries are going to be phased out? All this kind of stuff is absolutely certain. Just like in your company knows when automation, for example, if you work in a place that's heavily manual labor, they know that company knows when whole areas of work are going to be phased out or you know what I mean. There's no one going. They're going to put robots in this place. Your supermarket knows the date when there's going to be 50% self checkout or 90% self check. They've got this stuff all figured out. So when you see it manifest, that's all. That's the after effect. They've already executed that. They've already spent the money on it. They've already carried out an entire plan for making that come to fruition. You're just seeing the manifestation of it, but it was planned, a generation ago. Okay? And so this is why education is so crucial. Because the people who we're educating now, the little children who are 5 years old, we're educating them for careers and for an economy that they will enter into in 15, 20, 25 years. And so we know what we're trying to condition and train these young people to face in that time. Some people know, and some people are preparing their children accordingly. Generally speaking, what that is these are people who are paying private school tuition. All right? The public school is they're preparing you for factory jobs that will not even exist. Whereas the private schools, they're preparing you to become, entrepreneurs who will sell a company by the time you're 40 years old and become a millionaire. It's an entirely different preparation process because they are part of the planning team. They are looking at the future and they're creating the future by, encoding certain things into the educational process. Okay? Now, that's the really big picture. I want to bring it down to you as an Orisha devotee. You need to think seriously about where you're going to be in 20 years. What is going to be your spiritual development in 20 years? You see, spirituality matures just like your body matures, just like your mentality matures, just like your emotional state it matures. So does your spiritual awareness. You achieve different levels of spiritual maturity over time if you're prepared to do so. If you don't, you will be in the same place 20 years from now. You know, Muhammad Ali said, a man who thinks at the age of 50 the same way he did at 25 has wasted half of his life. And the same is true of someone spiritually. If you are approaching your spirituality at 50 the same way that you approached it at 25, you will have wasted 25 years of your life. Who is preparing you for spiritual maturity? I'm telling you with complete and absolute certainty, beads and pots and titles is not preparing you for spiritual maturity. That is not what's going to be functional for you in 25 years. It's not. And I can tell you because I know people who have had beads, pots, and titles for 25 years. And they're the same people today that they were 25 years ago. You can go and sit down and have a conversation with these folks today, and it's like a time warp. They have not developed. They have not matured. You don't want that to be your case. So you need to start investing. Just like the wealthy people invest in their children with an expensive private school education, you need to invest in your own spiritual development. You need to put that money together. You need to put that focus and that effort together so that today you can start growing and cultivating the kind of spiritual activities that will mature and will manifest and yield the kinds of things that you want to see in your life in 10, 15, 20, 25 years. If you don't, then you're going to be exactly where you are today. You can accumulate anything and everything that you want. Those things do not facilitate or enable transformation. Beads, pots, and titles do not facilitate or enable transformation. You have to deliberately and purposefully change. You have to focus on becoming a different kind of person and having a different kind of experience. It requires training. It's not going to happen naturally. It's not going to happen accidentally. Okay? So in this year, in this season, in this moment, you're watching this video, it's because you're ready to involve yourself in some level of transformation. I want you to go to my website, obafemio.com, and I want you to start going to the classes. There's a classes tab, and I want you to start scrolling down, and I want you to enroll yourself. I've got classes from $10 to $700. Get enrolled in some class today. Start putting aside money every single month and take a class. I have 9 books. At this point, I have 9 different books that cover 9 different facets of this tradition. Buy those books. Read those books. Study those books. If you've got questions, reach out to me on social media. Ask me questions about those books. Okay? But start to invest in your spiritual development so that you can create your future. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Aboru aboye. Aboshishen.